I am Megan from Pip and Ebby, and today we are going to learn how to make pumpkin puree in your Instant Pot. Pumpkin puree is a pantry staple this time of year when fall baking is in full swing. It tastes great in a variety of recipes. Of course, you've got pumpkin pie and pumpkin cookies, but it also tastes really great in savory dishes like pastas and soups. For a super fresh pumpkin-y flavor, consider making your own pumpkin puree, and when you make it in your Instant Pot, it's even more delicious, it's more fresh, it's more flavorful, and it's super easy to make. So let's get started. You'll want to pick out one of those cute little pumpkins you see at the grocery store that are usually labeled as pie pumpkins. They are also sometimes called sugar pumpkins. Cut a circle around the stem using a sharp paring knife. Discard the stem and use a spoon to scoop out the guts and the seeds, just like you would do on a jack-o'-lantern. Discard those as well. Pour 1.5 cups of water into your Instant Pot. Place the pumpkin with the opening facing up on a trivet and lower it into the pot. Place the cover on the pot and set the timer to 15 minutes on high pressure. Use the pressure cook setting. It will take the Instant Pot around 12 minutes to build up pressure before it begins cooking. Poke a fork into the pumpkin to see if it is done cooking. The pumpkin should be fork tender, allowing the fork tines to pierce the skin. If it's not, cook on high pressure for an additional 5 minutes. When the pumpkin is done cooking, carefully pull the trivet out of the pot and place the pumpkin onto a cutting board. Cut in half lengthwise. And separate the flesh from the outer skin and place the flesh in a fine mesh strainer. Allow the moisture to drain for up to 1 hour. If you plan to use the puree for baked goods, you will want to add a few tablespoons of sugar and a handful of spices. I like to add 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a half teaspoon each of cinnamon and allspice, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. If you plan to use the puree for a savory dish, you may want to forego adding sugar and spices. Pour the pumpkin puree into a blender or food processor and puree until it is smooth. Pour into a mason jar and refrigerate until you are ready to add it into your next recipe. 1 3-pound pumpkin makes approximately 1 cup of puree. This recipe is really easy to double. Be sure to cut the pumpkins in half lengthwise after removing the stems and seeds. I hope you will try making your own batch of pumpkin puree and that it gives your next pumpkin recipe that extra touch of delicious magic.